It's the PDAC 2024 in Toronto, biggest mining show in the world. And we're talking to Dave O'Neill, Managing Director of American West Metals. He's come here from Australia because, of course, the project, well, the flagship project, let's call it, Storm is in Nunavut, Canada. So, Dave, it was a pretty big year for you last year. And perhaps you can give us a little bit of a recap, high-level recap, what that was all about, and then we get into what's going to happen this year.
Absolutely. Massive year last year for us with the drilling season last year. The geophysics led to the maiden resource for Storm, which is 17.5 million tonnes at 1.2% copper, which is fantastic. Our result for the company really underlines the value proposition of American West as a starting point, but also the growth potential, where there's a lot of intersections and copper left out there and not included in the resource, and we hope to include that stuff obviously this year. So very exciting year coming up.
Yeah, hopefully. And you started it off with a big capital raise, I think $10 million in the bank, apart from what you had left over from last year. So it's probably going to be a big program this year. Can you summarize for a bit more what you're going to go after?
Yeah, sure, we did. So we just put away 10 million Australian dollars. So that's a fantastic boost to the 3 to 4 million we started the year with. So very well capitalised to execute this year's program. And viewers might remember last year we did around 10,000 metres of drilling at Storm. The plan is to double that this year. Obviously, with every season we become more efficient in our activities as well. So we're not just doubling the cost. We actually, be more efficient with our drill meters. We've got 2 RC rigs going to site this year to partner up with the diamond rig. So the plan is to expand the resource in the first instance, bring some of those discoveries we made last year, like Thunder, which you've all seen the core for, which is about 50 metres at 3% copper, bring those into the resource category. That one, Lightning Ridge as well. They'll obviously boost the existing resources and also do the exploration. So we plan to do the deep diamond drilling below Storm and also exploring down the belt. So a big year, and it starts soon. So get on board. We have the recon flight in the next week or so, camp opening up in the next couple of weeks, and then on-ground activities shortly after that.
Okay, perfect. And then we talked about the big program, but it's a big bell too. So there's 2 other prospects, let's say, that you already know that you're going after, but there's lots of other stuff too to come over the next, well, not only this year, the coming years, right? If it proves up.
Absolutely, you're dead on. Like the next phase after Storm, will be heading down the belt to Tornado and Blizzard. Both of those prospects have copper sticking out of the ground and existing geophysical anomalies. So they identical geology to Storm as well. So they could be the next Storm. So essentially moving the exploration to those prospects, but then heading down to Tempest as well, which is about 40 kilometres south of Storm. So, but look, we don't have to do it all in 1 year. This is going to be a long-term play. The resources that we've got now will set us up for the future. And hopefully if we can get this thing into production in the short term, that will help fund what will be a decade-long exploration program.
Yeah, that would be certainly helpful. Then that could be, the surface material could be a DSO product.
Yep, that's exactly the way we're looking at this operation. There's the way the ore breaks up, and it's very coarse and very high grade, and so that lends itself to simple beneficiation, simple crushing and screening to make a DSO operation ore product. And we're still tinkering what the numbers will be there, what the final grade will be, what the throughput, et cetera, et cetera. So we hope to get those results out very shortly as well. That will really define the process going forwards. And and be able to shine some economics on it as well.
Okay, interesting. So that's a lot of work on one project. Just let's touch very briefly on the other projects, because these sound interesting too. At least to me, or to you probably too. Copper Warrior, West Desert. They're going to take a bit of a backseat, or are you going to get to them too?
Well, no, they'll be working on. We're working on those in the background. We're doing a little bit of met work at West Desert and looking after the permitting and environmental and de-risking some of the development activities there. Because we did the flow-through Canadian raise with this capital raise, all of the flow-through needs to be spent in Canada. So all of that money will go to Storm, but we did do a portion of the raise for Australia, and that will actually be able to go into these projects. So yeah, look, we plan to progress those as needed. and Copper Warrior. Very cheap and cheerful exploration down there. Simple, very shallow RC drilling, mine site down the road. That'll lend itself to a very cheap exploration program as well. So as a reminder there, 3 holes last year in last year's program intersected copper and silver, very close to the Lisbon Valley Fault, which is the main mineralizing structure in the area there. So follow-up work to go there. And look, we'll roll that out at some point during the year as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Cheers.